Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Chicago. Look, got a little bit of snow, people riding in the snow here. I think we're up to 37 degrees. At least it stopped snowing. The sun actually came out for a little bit. I'm thinking since it's still kind of cold and the snow's really slushy, and I just dried out my socks and my boots from this morning. Actually, I changed my shoes, so I got a better pair of shoes. Hey Chris, how's it going there? Yeah, let's get across Lake Street and let's just walk through the pedway. I might lose my connection a few times, but I think you guys will understand. We'll try to get over towards the Macy's, Marshall Fields, and maybe we'll walk indoors a bit today. Here's Nutella. There you can go up, you get your personalized jar there. And then here's Nando's, the South African cuisine here. They're all over the city. There's several locations. This is a really nice one because they open up that second level and you can overlook Michigan Avenue. Heather B, Chris, Julie Reed, Prince, Jason, yeah, Krista. Thanks everybody here. Look, there's the Prudential building, Prudential Plaza. We got some snow. We walked in on TikTok this morning, so yeah, it was crazy weather this past 24 hours. Yesterday we had thunderstorms and hail and crazy winds, weird colored sky. People saw yellow sky, green sky, orange sky. I sheltered in a bus shelter there when the pea-sized hail hit. And then we got snow, heavy wet snow. And we went to the Bean this morning. There's Giordano's. There's a Chicago-style pizza option. This is Jonathan. How you doing there, Michael? Tara, thanks for tuning in here. So maybe a month from now they'll turn this fountain on. There's the original Prudential building. This was the tallest building built after the Board of Trade in Chicago. There was an observation deck. It was built in the late 1950s. In the late 1980s, 1988, they built this taller Prudential annex here. Angel Lambie T there. Yeah, Michael Anderson, thanks for being on here. So yeah, we'll just head through the Prudential Plaza. We can connect to Millennium Station. See, there's the Michigan Plaza. There's Michigan Avenue. And after walking for like 2 hours in the cold this morning, I don't feel like walking in the cold, so let's go back inside. We'll go to the pedway. If I lose my connection, please hold tight. We'll get it back. I'm going to try to walk through the pedway to Macy's, which is Marshall Fields over by State Street. And there's an Amazon Go. But there's a nice little plaza here. Yeah. Oh, Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy was able to get that shelf cloud. Yeah, we did a split screen there. Actually, we did a three-way screen. There was a third gentleman there. And yeah, he was like, take shelter. I was like, yeah, thanks for helping me out there. I appreciate it. So you can go up to, if you go up that way, you can go up to the elevator bank. They got a Just Salad here. They changed this. There's a Panda Express here. There's ways to get to the Aon Tower. This is the bottom of the Prudential. And then we'll go to the lobby of the original Prudential. They got some nice digital screen, and we'll connect with Millennium Station. You can get to Aon that way. I always lose my connection when I go under that. You can connect to the pedway there. We still streaming okay? Christopher, how you doing there? Lambie T, yeah, thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, sometimes I go to this Panda Express here. Here's the Wildberry. The Wildberry is a great pancake and waffle place here. It's usually pretty popular with the hotels around here. And I don't know what the Beacon Donuts is. Hey, look, they set up some pickleball courts. They got some indoor pickleball courts at the bottom of Prudential. This is new. Let's show this here. Here's the Wildberry. Sun shining. It looks warmer than it is. But look, they got some pickleball courts indoors here. The Wilson has some offices here, so maybe Wilson, the sports company that makes all the basketballs and footballs. They got a pickleball court right here in the lobby. You see this? So I wonder, maybe someday we can catch somebody actually playing some pickleball here. They got seating here. They got a really nice digital sign here. And are we streaming okay? Maybe I'm losing my connection here. I don't know. Here we'll... Hey, Angel. Very good. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks, Lambie. Yeah, I like this digital screen. They added this about 10 years ago. It's a nice, it usually shows scenes of Chicago. Yeah, they updated this lobby. I like that they added the pickleball course. Here's the Council of Global Affairs. It's a something with the United Nations there. And to Prudential Tower. We'll head down towards Millennium Station here, and we'll try to get to the pedway. On your way to lunch, that's good. Well, wasn't that nice? We saw Fred this morning shoveling the snow there. I've been passing by that gentleman for years. I've been walking by there, and he's always been out there in front of the Houghton. He was, He was like, "You're up early." I said, "So are you." He was shoveling some of the stairwells there, those beautiful buildings on Dearborn there in the Gold Coast. We had a nice friends and neighbors there just having a nice discussion. It was so funny. This is happening to everybody. We're getting these stupid warnings from TikTok. You know, he was just expressing his free speech, First Amendment views about the current political situation. And I don't know if somebody complained they didn't like the Millennium Station. So yeah, if you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're indoors here. We're down in Millennium Station. You can wait here. There's the ticketing agent here. They got all these restaurants. They got restrooms. And if you head that way, it goes to the South Shore trains. I lose my connection if I go that way, and I might lose it if I go this way. So we'll go past the Starbucks. You ever watched the Batman movie, The Dark Knight? He rides a motorcycle through here. In that movie, it came out in 2008. Yeah, it's only free speech until someone complains, and someone's always going to complain. You know, the pendulum swings from one side to the other, you know. And this is payback for, you know, the swings to the left, it swings to the right. Where it ends up, no one knows. Here's Sparrow, you get some pizza. Yeah, it's a Brooklyn chain there. There's some popcorn. There's a bar here. Look, there's a bar down the pedway, so if you're waiting for your train there, you can get your drink on there. Here's go through the doors here. Are you looking for something? Or? The restroom, yeah. Oh, there's some restrooms right there. To the right. Go to the right. Thank you. That's good. Sorry. That's good. So here, we're in the pedway here. You see how it suddenly changes. When I you know, before 2008, when they renovated that station, or 2007, it looked like you were in like a basement, and it's much nicer now. They modernized it, and after they built Millennium Park, you can feel the cold air. This goes right up to the Cultural Center. We're in the pedway here in Chicago. Remember, we went to inside the Cultural Center on Tuesday. That'll get you up to the 150 Smurfit and Stone building, the diamond-shaped building, the stone container building. And then if we head this way, we'll head right over towards the, we'll go underneath the Cultural Center. See, this connects to the parking garages, and it's the pedway. You know, there's underground parking underneath Millennium Park and Grant Park. You can pop right out to the street here. I'll show you. I know it's a maze. You know, it took me years to figure this out, and I still get lost. So you can head out to the street there. You can head out to the street here. See, we'll pop right up on Michigan Avenue. You know, I think they had intentions for this pedway to be more extensive. They only built, you know, in phases. They built one long stretch of it, and it never really expanded it, except when they built Lakeshore East. See, we walked through the bottom. We walked through those buildings there. We went underneath. Millennium Station's actually underneath Randolph, and see where Michigan and Randolph. There's the Bean. We were there this morning. This is Millennium Park. And yeah, 65 there. Let's see here. No, this is Chicago. This is Chicago. We're in the United States of America. This is the Cultural Center. Remember we looked out those windows when we were in the Grand Army of the Republic side there. There's some museum space. The Tiffany Dome's on that side. And so let's head back down here. Let's see if we can make it over to Macy's via the pedway. You can go all the way to City Hall under the Daily Center. And see, here's the parking garage. Here's the underground parking underneath Michigan Avenue. There's the level down there, and there's parking. I'm probably losing my connection here because of all the concrete here, but there you get to the metro. You get back to the Millennium Station right there. Here, we'll head through the door here. Yeah, I've been through some of the tunnels that connect some of the train stations, but yeah, that's specific to the subway there. Yeah, that's a good point there. Let me help you with the door there. So here. Bake some bread. Pete, how you doing there? Yeah. So did anybody get affected by the storms? Did anybody get any storm damage or hail damage or anything? We're underneath the Cultural Center here. See the pedway system of Chicago. The Cultural Center. And then it goes through the Heritage. There's a health club over here. This is the Chicago pedway. Here we explore it sometimes. It's hard to maintain a connection. Sometimes the cell service just doesn't work well down here. And again, we're not really underground. We're kind of in the space between the ground and the streets, where a lot of the utilities and lower levels are. Hey Ernesto, how you doing there? Tornado went northwest Indiana. Yeah, I know there were tornadoes. There was tornado warnings. People in Peoria said there was tornadoes down there in northwest Indiana. I saw there was some storm damage in the country too. So we're in March, you know, it's going to be in here. See, this is, we started here. We went through the Prudential. We went through Millennium Station. We checked out the parking garages underneath Grant Park, Millennium Park. We're heading this way. This is Macy's. You can get all the way to City Hall. That's the Thompson Center. Those are the ones that are above. And you see how it's like disjointed, these others. But it's more extensive in Lakeshore East and this main east-west thing that connects the red, the blue, over to City Hall. And then this is actually above ground, the blue stuff. And you can see those skyways there. Light snow flurries and Hazlitt, that's good. Here, see, there's a pool down here, but the pandemic just destroyed it. And just like Illinois Center has a lot of unused commercial space in the mall there, that this has a lot of unused commercial space. So here, way through here. There used to be a bar here. Yeah. So here this will connect you to the red line. It goes around Macy's here. They got the stained glass windows. And we'll just go right into Macy's here because I'm worried about losing my cell phone connection here. So you see there are some homeless people that stay warm by the pedways there. And heck, right into the bookstore here. Welcome to Macy's. We made it here. I'll try to get up. Yeah, we'll take this escalator up here because I don't think my connection's gonna be too strong down here in the basement. Dolores, how you doing there? Yeah, Pedway gang. Naya, yeah. How's everybody doing? UConn. Oh, you guys talking about the tournament? Yeah, everybody got their brackets. You ready for? Is that starting today? That's starting today. Today's the big. They're starting the games right now, right? The NCAA tournament starts. Yeah, who do you think's going to go all the way? I don't even know what the seeds are. I used to really pay attention to that. I used to be you know, we would bet on it. We would have the office pool. You'd pick out your brackets, get involved in the national competitions there. Hey, we're by the fountain here. So here, welcome to Macy's. This used to be Marshall Field's. They got this historic fountain here. They moved it. This is the Burnham Fountain, 1904. And inside here, we got a fountain. They changed this around a little bit. This used to be a little different. They partitioned some of the upper floors and made it offices, and they still retained like 7 of the floors down here, or 6 of the floors are for Macy's retail, and then the 7th is like a food court. Maybe we'll go up there and check it out to see what's up in the food court. UNC game in Milwaukee. That's great, Krista. Well, that should be fun. It's a big game there, UNC, North Carolina. Alvin, how you doing there? High Point and Purdue playing right now. See, they already started the tournament. First game on. Well, let's go see if there's anybody at the bars there. Yeah. I like this shirt. 50% off. So, Macy's, former Marshall Field's. Look at this. Give the lady what she wants. Look at these columns. This was a huge innovation. Department store, have all these different levels. Here's the main makeup counter. First floor here. Got your fork? You ready to go? That's good. Yeah, and we've shown this before. They got an amazing. This is different than the Tiffany Dome that's in the Cultural Center, but there's another Tiffany Rotunda. I think this is the Tiffany Rotunda in the former Marshall Field's there. Look how large that is. Remember, we went up there. Maybe we'll go up there. We went up there before. You got to get up to the 5th level or the 4th or 5th level. See, they call this a Tiffany Dome, but it's a different type of dome. It was built later than the one in the Cultural Center. In 1907, this dome is the world's largest example of an unbroken Tiffany Fabril incandescent glass mosaic. So it doesn't let light in, but it's a mosaic of iridescent Tiffany tiles. And you see how they got these big giant atriums here, or it's actually like there's a taller one over this way. Amelia Earhart had clothing line here. Really? Amelia Earhart had a clothing line in the original Marshall Field's. That's amazing. That shows you her and Lindbergh, they were very famous, you know, like astronauts, because that was the original aviation age. They were pushing the lengths that planes could fly across the Atlantic and the Pacific and around the world. And that's why we lost Amelia, because she was trying to fly across the Pacific. Here's, and we'll go up a little higher here. Maybe we'll go up to the 7th floor. See, here's the store directory. All the different floors here. We were here at Christmas time. We came here and saw the Christmas decorations. Look at this, is a true light well here. This one lets light in. Shows you how tall this building is. Like, it's like 12 or 15 stories here. So some of the upper floors are now offices. Only like the bottom 5 or 6 are retail. And have a great day there. See you later. So here, let's head up to level 2 here. $1.6 million pieces. Thanks for the good info there. That's, yeah, think of that. They had to piece together that many things. That's like, you know, imagine if a puzzle piece had that many pieces. Here, let's see if we can get closer to it. We'll try to get up there. We'll just keep going up the escalators here. Hey, you got men's suits here. Level 2. Hey, let's keep going here. Let's go up quickly, and then we'll take our time coming down. Now we're shopping. I should be watching I should be watching the tournament. There's so many games going on right now. Yeah, I need some new shoes. There's the women's department. Level 3 dresses. See how you can look down here? You can where we were just at here. There it is. We were just down there. And we'll go up. We'll go up here. So this is Macy's. This used to be the Marshall Fields here in Chicago, and so we're heading up to the 4th level. I think I want to. Is it the 4th level or the 5th level? I think it's the 5th level. We'll go up one more, and we can go over to. We'll be really close to that Tiffany Dome. We've done it before. I got reruns where we you know, we were right at the level where that 1.6 million pieces. Yeah, it's over there. So let's go up one more level here. For now, eventually we'll get up to the food court. I haven't been to the food court. We used to go there all the time. I used to meet colleagues there and friends for lunch. We would walk over here, and there, that's where the Walnut Room is. People go to the Walnut Room there at holiday time. They'll have a Christmas tree. It takes reservations. It gets really crowded. Here we're level 5 here of Marshall. It used to be Marshall Fields. Now it's Macy's. Just like we lost Carson Prairie Scott. That's where the Gothic Target is. So hey, we're way up here. We're getting closer to the top. Let's head to. Hey, we'll head past the toys here. Spider-Man. Man, I hope you're feeling better there, Lambie. Sorry you're not feeling well there. Yeah, that's homesick. Yeah, I threw in the towel after walking in all that snow. I just got wet this morning. Look at this hot dog. There's a Lego hot dog. There's the toy section. They got the little baby Yoda. They got a giraffe there. Yeah. So here we'll walk. So where I want to go is where women's lingerie. That was not my intention. I want to show this. I want to show this Tiffany Dome here. And it just so happens they put the women's apparel right here next to it. Here it is. See how close we are to it? Remember, we looked at this. We were down below. Now we're at the 5th level of the former Montgomery Ward's Macy's. And look, these are the 1.6 million pieces. Look at that iridescent mother of pearl, that blue tile. You see it up there too. And then they got this kind of glass chandelier, the arches here. Look at these, just the detail that they would put into that. You know, the patterns. And isn't that nice? Is it streaming good? Yeah, look at this beautiful view we got to the, this is the Tiffany Dome in Macy's, which used to be Marshall Fields. I'm trying to get the camera straight here. Here, let's get over right there. We'll line up right there. We're perfectly lined up now. Here, let's head to the side here. Let's view it from the other side. Sleepwear. Yeah, it looks comfortable. Elevators, look at the elevators. It's got the wheat. Look at that. Look at that blue mother of pearl. Look at that even. See, we were looking through that opening. Look at this detail. This is priceless. I mean, I can't imagine how much Marshall Field spent on this when he did this, and it was just to impress people, you know. And this was like, you know, just a commercial retail store that spent this much money to build a dome just to impress people, you know, to shop at their store, you know, portray the image of luxury, stylish shopping. Yeah, gold blots. Yeah, there used to be gold blots. Look at that. Look at this neoclassical Tiffany Dome here in Marshall Fields here, the patterns. Yeah, the lamps there. Yeah, look at that. Look at this lamp. It's like a disco ball. That was like an early disco ball. Look at that. Look at the purple and the blue and the green. Look at that. 1.6 million interlocking pieces of tile. Tiffany mosaic tile. Yeah, they actually made money. Yeah, the heirs of Marshall Fields, they actually, you know, until the Great Depression, they did pretty well, but then they lost a lot of their fortune in the Great Depression, just like other people of that period. And it just set everybody back. It shows you the opulence of the Gilded Age here, you know. And they were trying to emulate, you know, they would go to Europe and see the palaces of Europe, and they would try to emulate it here to prove that Chicago had made it on the world stage. Look at that. Look at the colors. Look at that iridescent color there. Man, check this out. You come shop here and check it out. So here, let's head up to the, let's see if we can get up another level here. We'll go up to the food court. I think we can get up another level here. Is it two more levels? I think it's 2 more levels. There it is. There it is, Tiffany Dome. 1.6 million pieces of glass, 6,000 square feet. Took 1.5 years to complete, and over 50 artisans scaffolding. Michelangelo in her midst. Yeah. Hey, there's some dolls there. Get your pink unicorn. Get your Lego hot dog. Look at this. I love this. Yeah, it's your Chicago hot dog. Mustard, no ketchup. There's Spider-Man. So here, we'll head up here. Yeah, you can watch the rerun. That's the good thing about YouTube, is if you miss any of this, you can rewind, or you just go to the live tab there on YouTube, and you can watch the whole thing there at your convenience. And there's an earlier, about a year ago, we did the same thing. Probably in the winter of last year, we did the same thing. We went, and that one's probably in landscape, so it might actually look better. I know I'm doing it in portrait here, so I can transfer to TikTok. It just doesn't, the landscape doesn't work well with TikTok. Hey, we got some rugs here. They sell a bunch of rugs here. Here, one more level. They got couches, bedroom sets, furniture. They got everything. What about the Miss Piggy doll? Yeah, ketchup is for fries. I dip my fries in mayo. So I think there's a food court on this 7th level. And we explored some of the side rooms. There's some side. Here's, you get your Frango chocolates. You remember Marshall Fields used to sell the Frango chocolates. You could still get them here at Macy's. So here's your Frango chocolates. There you get the Marshall Field mint chocolates. They got the clock there. You get a Marshall Field tote bag. They got the Frango chocolates, and you can still, here it is, 7 on State, the 7th floor. It's a food court, and so if you're shopping here, just like a mall, this was like the first mall. Not only was it a department store, you got a food court. And hey, look at that painting there. I like that. Yeah, people sit right here by the railing here. Let's see what they got here. I haven't been up here in a while. So they got some taco place here. Got the grill, Chicago grill. You get your pizza and hot dog, your hamburger. You get some tacos. They got, what is this? Tabot Chef. Oh, look at that. They got the flames going there. You can order. You go right up to the kiosk here. Let's look out the window here. Let's see what the view looks like here. So here, 7 on State. It used to be larger. I think they kind of scaled it back. See, here we're looking down to, is that Randolph Street? That's a parking garage. There's State Street. So there's the Joffrey Ballet. There's some of the buildings along State Street. And no, is this Randolph? Yeah, this is Randolph. and State Street. Yeah, let's go over to this window. We'll be able to see it better here. It's nice just to see the views, a different perspective of the city here. Thanks for letting me walk indoors here. Hey, we can see the Chicago Theater sign here. I'll lower my voice here. There it is. You see the Chicago Theater? Look at that. Yeah, you get Marina Towers. Here, you can look at this great view. You get to the Nederlander. Yeah, that's looking down Randolph. So usually we walk down there, right there. Yeah, it's a beautiful view. Thanks for checking it out. And that's how you can see. So this is Block 37, the Oriental, or the used to be the Oriental Theater. Now it's the Nederlander. Before that was the Iroquois. Look at the roof decks they got on the Block 37 there. And we walked through there. Was that yesterday we went through there? That's looking towards the First Methodist Church. There you can see all the way to the Thompson Center, which is being renovated for Google there. So this is State Street here, so here, let's keep going here. Yeah, who's looking for Santa? Yeah, it's a nice height there. It's not too far. You can actually see stuff. And see how you can sit. You can sit right here by the atrium here. You can look down. Look at that. You can look up. Getting vertigo. So here's the Walnut Room. Let's see if we can get over. I don't know if they got the Walnut Room open. They usually just open it up at holiday time. Let's see if we can sneak over there. Maybe it's open. I don't know. But here, if you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're at Macy's. Used to be Marshall Fields. Yeah, let's film this fountain here. And there's some side rooms over here. We're on the 7th floor of the former Marshall Fields. Now it's Macy's. This is the Walnut Room. At holiday time, you got to have reservations, and people come here and dine. It was a tradition to get people to come here, make it a whole event for the Christmas holiday season. Walnut Room, celebrating 117 years. Weddings and events. You can drag brunches. Look at, here's this fountain. Here's the Walnut Room. Has anybody had dinner here? Look at this fountain. They got a bar here. They're playing the nice music here. Hey, you want to get a Chucky doll? Lucky Chucky? Look at this beautiful fountain here, the Walnut Room. And Christmas time, there's a giant Christmas tree there. There, let's see. I don't want to... they probably don't want me walking through here, so... Here, let's check out the tapestries. There, we can see it here. Walnut Room in Marshall Fields. Look at that. Look at these fixtures. Look at that. Here, they got some memorabilia over here. Let's see what they got on the walls here. Yeah, I'm like a Chatty Cathy doll there. You can watch something else. You're just going to sit here and complain. It's your own fault. There's Culinary studio. They got a whole kitchen studio. I like this chair. So yeah, there's offices this way. And you need key card access. Here's the Walnut Room here. How you doing? So here, let's head around here. No, the reason I talk so much, I try to maintain a constant stream of consciousness narrative over it. People seem to enjoy it. It works better on TikTok where people are always scrolling by. I know I try to interact with the comments better here on YouTube. I'm not the only one that does this. You know, we saw Chris, the Zen Chef Mo there. He does the same thing. He's like, blah, 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 blah. He was making fun of himself. I'm the same way. We're a bunch of Chatty Cathys there. So, yeah, it looks like a place where Al Capone would make his party. He did stay in some hotels downtown, some very opulent and expensive hotels. Probably he was down at the Congress Hotel, and he had a house in Miami and other places. I got to find the escalator down, so I think it's on the other side here. Let me find the escalator down. Here, we'll go look out this window here. So you can see City Hall across the way. I think it's worth it for the views here. Look at that. See, there's a green roof. There's the green roof on Block 37. You see the plants growing up there. They got a nice rooftop amenity. That's housing. So this is a true mixed-use development. Housing. There's offices, CBS 2, TV stations there. This is all AMC theaters. They got 4 levels of a mall there, Block 37, across from Macy's Marshall Fields. There you can see the Reliant building and the whole loop of Chicago here. Daily Plaza, City Hall. So here, let's head down here. And what time we got here? 12:37. Maybe we have enough time to go down to, we'll try to stream the interior of the Palmer House Hilton because that's so beautiful since we're doing like an interior thing. Or I could just head outside there. Look at the rugs here. This is level 6 of Macy's. Couches. Hope I'm blessed. Recon Teslas. Yeah. Hey, your aunt had martinis. Good memories there, Joe Owen. Oh, so you were looking for Santa. You were looking for Santa in Macy's. Oh, I get that. Yeah. I'm kind of slow sometimes. I wasn't thinking Christmas time. Hey, Toys R Us. You Toys R Us kid. How do I get down here? Let's see. There, down to level 4. Here it is, down to level 4. I feel like I'm in a Bugs Bunny cartoon here at the department store. Hey, it looks like a basketball court here on level 4. Daryl from Blue Island, how you doing there, Powder Girl? Yeah, this place has it all. It's got everything. True department store. Here's your perfect swimsuit. Yeah, they're rolling out the summer duds here. Level 4. What else am I missing here? Let's see. Yeah, thanks for the time out there. I don't know why that... It always amazes me, you know, people would rather... Hey, there I am. How you doing there? People would rather complain than, like, watch something else. All they have to do is scroll to the next thing, and then they'll just sit there and just keep complaining about me complaining. And I'm like... What's the point? Yeah, we all can complain. You know, trolls are just complainers too, you know. They just need attention is what it is. And Sarah was right, just don't give them attention and then they'll go away. But blocking them is probably the best. I don't want them to come back. We got enough followers here. I'm not trying to get famous. It's already too late. I'm accidentally famous. Here's hey, baseball season. Sign up, design your dreams there, yeah. So I'm starting to get warm here, so let's go outside. Let's see if we can get outside here. We'll head out to figure out which side of the building we're on here. I think we're on State Street. So here, yeah, here's all the makeup counters here, all the chandeliers and columns here. Please use a revolving door. Hey, the sun's shining. So we got about 37 degrees. Here's State Street. That great street here. We'll head down towards the Palmer House Hilton. We'll try to see what it looks like. Yeah, misery loves company. That's what it is. Blocking hurts the algorithm. Well, that's fine with me. The algorithm is wrong so much. It's just you're arguing with a robot. Look at the tulips here. So here's the little remnants of snow that we got this morning. The tulips are trying to come up here on State Street, and looks like they're doing fine. The snow didn't set them back. It wasn't a hard freeze, so so they'll be fine. There's this, look at that beautiful clock. You see the Muddy Waters mural there, the Marshall Field clock there, Marshall Field and Company, the historic signage. There's the L train going by there. Pink line's heading south here. This is Washington Street here, Washington Street and State Street. There's the Reliance building, original, one of the early skyscrapers. I think it was built just before, like 1890s. State Street, we're heading south. Yeah, Will Robinson, how you doing there, Ernesto? Very lucky guy. Yeah, it stops pushing the content. You're right. Well, but see, look at the chilling effects. We talk about this all the time. You know, the irony that TikTok claims that it provides an inclusive environment, and then, you know, it's impossible, you know, because it either allows too many trolls or doesn't allow enough. It punishes you for blocking people. But sometimes you have to block people. If you run a nightclub, a bar, a restaurant, sometimes you have to kick people out. It's just the nature of anything. That's why, you know, corporations have security. Eventually you have to escort somebody out. And it's just being a pest. Now, I know sometimes accidents happen. People accidentally get muted. I need to unmute Grim Evil. I forgot to do it. I'll remember to do it now. I remembered it last night. I got caught up at work and I forgot to unmute. That was an accident. I don't know what happened. He probably said something and it got misinterpreted. Here's the, this is the Gothic Target here. Let's get across the street here. There's the L train. This is the Louis Sullivan's, one of his masterpieces here. They call it the Sullivan Center, Carson Prairie Scott. You know, we just went through the former Marshall Fields. Chris always talks about how Louis Sullivan has his initials in there. There it is. Louis H. Sullivan. His middle initial was H. Louis Sullivan, see the S, see the H, and see the L. Louis H. Sullivan, the S. He put his initials in this cast iron, wrought iron protective facade around the original Carson Prairie Scott. Look at this element here. Look up there. And there's the L train pulling out of the Wabash and Washington station here. But look at this amazing cast iron, wrought iron detail. And there you can see there multiple times. Louis Sullivan, there it is. See, it goes all the way around. And look at that. Yeah, it's spooky. That's why they call it the Gothic Target. That's why they call this the Gothic Target, because it used to be Carson Prairie Scott, and now it's a Target. And they kept the columns, but they painted over them. You see how this detailing wraps around the whole building. Look how large these windows are. That was an innovation, the Chicago-style architecture. Steel frame construction, it allowed, you could really open up the storefront so people could look in and they could display the window. You could display the wares in the windows. It was before they realized people were going to use cars to smash through the windows. Now it's susceptible to smash and grabs, but it's, thankfully we got so much other stuff to block cars from driving on the sidewalk. Nah, it's cool, it's spooky. Gothic Target. Yeah, Ernesto, you know what I'm talking about. You know, that's why you have a job in security. Eventually people have to be balanced. It's just, you know, and it's very, you got to teach people how to treat you. You know, am I just going to sit there and get heckled all day? That's not a good way to conduct a polite society, you know. And I know people protest, people got true grievances, you know. I am empathetic to, you know, people. Sometimes I say things wrong, or, you know, I talk too much for some people. They can watch something else. I'm just amazed they would stick around and just, I'm like, yeah, we'll get over this. Hey, look at the tulips. Yeah. So here we'll cross Monroe Street. Now, sometimes I lose my connection. I'll try to quickly get through the part at the front where we lose our connection going up to the second level, but we filmed this before. This is the Palmer House Hilton. This is the third iteration of the Palmer House. It's a hotel here, and the first one burnt down in the Great Chicago Fire. They rebuilt it, and then in the 1920s they tore down the second iteration and built an even grander hotel, which is this third iteration. Did like air conditioning and elevators and better electricity and things like that. And so here's the Palmer House Hilton in Chicago. This is Monroe Street, in between Wabash and State. It takes up pretty much the whole block. Potter Palmer was a Chicago business magnate. Fighting with Devers, development of Chicago's downtown and historic State Street. His wife was Bertha Honore Palmer, and she was had her own wealth. He married into her wealth. And see, this is there's the second iteration, or is that the first iteration? This is the third iteration of the Palmer House Hilton. So let's go inside here. Hey, Frida, it's over there. Oh, we got to go one more turnstile here. Yeah, Dutch tulips. Go to Holland there. Go to Holland, Michigan. Yeah, you got. All right, how are the tulips doing in Holland? I know you got a beautiful tulip festival there. I've been to Holland, Michigan. You got a nice downtown there near the lake. Look at this peacock. These peacock doors here. Look how beautiful they look with the blue behind the gold there. This is the Palmer House Hilton. We'll go up here. The peacock door. Let's see what it says here. The world-renowned door, actually a piece of real estate art, was a majestic bird. The door actually pays homage to the famed House of Peacock, Chicago's historic and celebrated emporium of fine jewelry, 1837. So that's why I'm reading this. But you're streaming okay? It's a glass case with famous artifacts in it. Okay, we'll see if we can find it here. So there's a arcade and a mezzanine here. If I lose my connection, sometimes it drops out right here, and then we get it back once we get up to the grand lobby here. So again, Palmer House Hilton. The reason I repeat myself so much, I'm used to TikTok of people coming in and out of the live all the time asking, where are you at? What is this? Who are you? And then here's the bar. Hey, playing basketball. There's your NCAA tournament action right there. But here it is. People rent out the ballrooms, the Empire Room. Look at this candelabra here. Look at that. It's amazing. Look at this detail, the ceiling. Palmer, there's their porch. Doesn't this look like the Titanic staircase? Look at this. It's like here. We streaming okay? Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Yeah, it's like reminds you of your house here. You got a nice house. So here we'll just go up the escalator and I'll walk down and we'll come down because it's a nice way for me to easily give an overview. Yeah, so there I think this is what you're talking about. There's Mark Twain, the greatest banquet in American history. Bertha Honore had a banquet. Here's the silverware. Mark Twain was here. And yeah, Mark Twain drank out of some of this stuff. That's what this is saying here. Is this some of the glass things you're talking about, Chris? Going up the escalator here. Look at that ceiling. You can see we're going to the mezzanine balcony level here. Sometimes I lose. Yeah, it drops out like right when I go through the bottom there. So hopefully we get some of the ceiling here. See, we're seeing this opulence of age here. We just can't build them like this and copy the styles and buy artwork and bring it back here and say, go to the architect. They say, design me a building that looks like this, but do it better. So we can prove that Chicago's a fly-by-night city that just appeared on the Midwest there. Railroad town. Yeah, it's bad reception. Okay, so I'll get out of here. At least I made an attempt. Yeah, so you understand what I'm dealing with. That's why I don't come here as often as I'd like, because the walls are too thick and we always cut out and we lose people when I go in here. So we'll head out here. So I'm going to head back outside, try to get the connection back. At least we got some footage of it. Thanks for bearing with the connection troubles there. That's why I would like to go there more often, but I always lose my connection, and it's frustrating for you as the viewer. You never know when I'm going to come back, and you know, and so we'll keep on walking here. We got 12:53, so I'm just going to head back to the office here. We saw some cool stuff today. Thanks for tuning in here. We'll just head up Wabash, and we saw the bean this morning, so we'll skip it. It's all drippy now. The snow's all melted. So here comes the L train here. Welcome to Chicago. Look at that pink line. Yeah, now everything's melting. We're melting. See, Carson Prairie Scott, Memento. Your Memento is coming. I remember there was a movie called Memento. Look at this sunshine. Yeah, we'll sing the "You Are So Beautiful to Me" song there. It was that Burt Bacharach. Get your peri peri chicken. Oh, from the Little Rascals. Yeah, nothing but blue skies. See, nothing but blue skies. Oh yeah, there's so much to go. You know what I mean? Look at this. Look at this amazing detail here. And here we got another L train going by, an orange line going to Midway. Scenes of the city. Hey, happy first day of spring. We're getting this bright spring sunshine finally, even though it snowed this morning. Oh, this is Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. How you doing here? Does this look like India? We're close to Indiana, but that's completely different. There, the Chicago Landmark Diamond Center, the Jewelers Row here. Let's see if we get the light here. So we're under the Washington Wabash station here. Here, Ellis Taco. Yeah, the tulips. Thanks, Doreen. Lambie T. Thanks for the little emojis there. Willie Nelson. Yeah, Willie Nelson. Yeah, see you tomorrow, Ernesto. I just saw that. There's a TJ Maxx, a Burlington Coat Factory. You can go up and go out the other side. You can go straight. You can go all the way through there and go out to State Street. Here's the underneath. Here's the underneath of Wabash here. We're underneath the train station here. They got elevators, ADA accessible. Favorite song? Yeah. On the road again. He said on the commode again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. I can sing like Willie Nelson. We're probably both Melungeons, so that, you know. Somebody asked me if they want, you could braid my hair. I said, hey, you can braid my hair like Willie Nelson. Yeah. So here's, oh, that pigeon almost got us. There's the underneath of the Wabash L tracks. There's the escalator to go up there. You can take the stairs. Here, we're up at Washington Street there. Yeah, we'll get this nice view to the Jewelers Building, the Trump Tower. So Millennium Park's that way. We saw it this morning. We saw the snow sticking to the bean there. So on TikTok, you can check that out. We'll go past the Staples here. Look at the sun hitting that Jewelers Building. Look at that. That's nice. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We celebrated it on Monday. They're going to do the Shamrock Shuffle on Sunday. I'm probably not going to see that. And then, but you know, it's just a 5K run there. It's just fun to see people paint their bodies in green. Yeah, Clark and Diversey. Yeah, we walked through there. Actually, we went there on Saturday. They were having the Shamrock and Roll. It was a really good crowd. They had some Irish bands, and people were in a good mood there. I showed all those kegs of beer that they had lined up for the festivities. But here we're downtown here in the loop of Chicago. We're on Wabash. Look at this beautiful detail. Dripping. It's a waterfall. And they got these like pinata type art stuff hanging off the light poles there. Look at that. Yeah, that one's like an octopus. Looks like it got beat up there. Needs some repair. Look at that. See, they saved these facades, these amazing facades along Wabash here. Look at that detail. Here comes the train rounding the bend there. We'll get it going by here. Do we got the light? Yeah, we got the light here. There's a green line heading south on Wabash. We're crossing Randolph. There's the Nederlander. Remember, we saw that from the windows of Macy's. Angel flying too close. Yeah, the river's still a little green. We crossed it this morning. We'll cross it tonight at 5 o'clock, after 5 o'clock on TikTok. It's slowly fading, but it was still green this morning. It looked green with the snow. It was overcast, so if it's sunny, it looks greener, depending on how you view it. Look at these mosaics. There's this is 66. This is called the 37 Gallery, 66 West. No, East Randolph Street here. And there's this Art Design Chicago. They work with the local high school art programs, and they can display their stuff. They're right across from the Cultural Center. So if you want to see the inside of the Cultural Center, check out Tuesday's rerun. We saw the Tiffany Domes, and we went through some of the exhibits. And it's pretty nice. Hell's Angels motorcycle crash. Wow. Oh, is that what? Oh, that's what that song's about. Oh, okay. Wow. Man, the Hell's Angels. So we'll round it out. We'll go a block up here on Michigan Avenue, and then I'm gonna head back to work. 1 o'clock on the dot. Thanks for coming along for our little tour of old Marshall Fields there, Macy's. I know my connection cut out in the Palmer House there, but we knew it would. We got some footage of it. There's the Wrigley building. Beautiful clouds, beautiful blue sky here. Doesn't feel too bad, even though it's less than 40 degrees. But the snow stopped, the sun came out. See if we can get to actually it looks like it's gonna be mostly 30s and 40s in the near future. A week from today, next Thursday, we'll try to go down to Sox Park to catch the home opener of the White Sox there. Cubs already had their opener on the road there. I think they eventually get to Wrigley the following Sunday. We'll check that out. Yeah, have a good afternoon, Dolores there. We'll see you later. Ernesto, Lambie T. Hope you feel better, Lambie T. Really, Julie Reed. All the Michaels. And Chris and everybody else. Kim, yeah, Bella, Dark Knight, yeah, thanks everybody here. So we'll cross the street here. First we'll cross Lake Street, and then we'll cross Michigan Avenue, and then I'll wrap it up here for good. See, there's a nice view to the John Hancock. We usually walk by that in the morning. Yeah, see, we saw the Prudential when we started. See, we did a full circle here. That's where we started. Where we went down the pedway. We did go in the pedway. Did I cut out in the pedway? A lot of times I cut out in the pedway, especially when we go by that pool. There's that nice view. Hey, thanks, Ernesto. Thanks for tuning in. Julie Reed. Up on the north side. Hey, you can look all the way down to Roosevelt skyline there. It's Michigan Avenue. Here we got the light here. We'll cross the street. Get you this nice view to the Wrigley building, Michigan Avenue. So have a great day, everybody. And we'll talk to you in a few hours here on TikTok. water girl. See you later there, Lady T. Yeah. Heavy D, Heavy D. Now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it? That was a cover even. So there you go. Talk to you later. Thanks a lot, everybody.